Los Angeles, where golden sunsets paint the skyline and the hum of life never fades. Streets lined with palm trees, neighborhoods bustling with music and laughter, and the comforting scent of fresh coffee drifting from cafes at dawn. It was a place of dreams where families built their futures, where love and ambition intertwined under the California sun. One spark, one ember caught in the wind. That was all it took. It began in the hills where dry leaves curled like parchment, waiting for a story of destruction to be written. The wind carried the flames as if feeding a beast, urging it to devour everything in its path. In the span of minutes, a whisper of smoke became a roar. Night turned to day as the flames cast an eerie glow over the city. Families woke to sirens and the scent of burning. Fathers grabbed their children, mothers clutched photo albums and passports, their hands shaking as they fled from the only homes they'd ever known. A once thriving neighborhood where kids played under old oak trees and neighbors shared morning greetings was now unrecognizable. Blackened frames of houses stood like skeletons against the smoldering ruins. A beloved diner where generations had gathered, reduced to nothing but ashes and memories. A man named Javier stood outside what used to be his home, his hands gripping a scorched wedding band, the only thing he had salvaged from the rubble. His wife Maria wiped her tears with soot-streaked hands. "We had everything here," she whispered, her voice breaking. "How do we start over?" Meanwhile, on the front lines, firefighters fought with everything they had. Their boots crunched over embers as they braved the inferno, their faces streaked with sweat and ash. A young firefighter, barely past 20, pulled a dog from the wreckage, pressing it into the arms of a weeping child. He gave a tired smile. "We'll keep fighting," he promised. The fire left behind more than just destruction. It took pieces of people's hearts with it. Families crammed into evacuation shelters, clutching the little they had left. A mother rocked her baby, whispering lullabies through trembling lips. A teenage girl scrolled through her phone, staring at pictures of a home that no longer existed. Some lost more than possessions. Mrs. Thompson, an elderly woman, stood outside her charred home with empty eyes. Her husband had refused to leave, convinced the fire would pass. It hadn't. "We were married for 50 years, she murmured. "Now, I don't know how to be without him." But amidst the devastation, something remarkable emerged the human spirit refused to break. A community united. Strangers became family in the face of disaster. Volunteers handed out blankets and food. Neighbors embraced, vowing to rebuild together. A firefighter held a little girl in his arms, her cheeks stained with tears. "You're safe now," he assured her. A woman named Olivia, who had lost her entire home, found herself organizing donations for those who had lost even more. "I may have nothing," she said, "but I still have my hands, and I can use them to help." People across the country watched in horror as the news spread. Donations poured in. Celebrities used their platforms to raise awareness. Construction crews and volunteers worked side by side, clearing debris, laying foundations, breathing life back into what was lost. The land may have burned, but the spirit of Los Angeles remained unshaken. Javier and Maria stood where their house once was, staring at the charred earth. But this time Maria did not cry. She squeezed Javier's hand. "We start over," she said, "together." As the weeks passed, green shoots began to sprout from the scorched ground, nature's silent promise of renewal. The city would heal, people would rebuild, and in time laughter and music would once again fill the air. For the fire had taken much, but it had not taken hope. If this story moved you, please like, subscribe, and share to spread awareness and support the recovery efforts.